Hello students, you're welcome to today's class. In our previous class, we discussed some elements of poetry. We discussed lines, stanzas, rhyme, and rhythm. In today's class, we'll be discussing other elements of poetry. They include theme, tone, mood, diction, and structure. Now, discussing the element theme. Theme is the central idea of a poem. It can also be described as a lesson or message in which the poet tries to convey or pass across to the readers or audience. A poem can contain one or more themes, and this theme ranges from love, forgiveness, bravery, hardship, sacrifice, justice, and so on and so forth. Now, we can understand theme to be what exactly the message that the poet tries to convey. For example, the poem My Mother by Ann Taylor. This poem, which talks about mother, describes the central idea of the theme of this poem can be the compassion of a mother. So the central idea here is that the poet is trying to convey how compassionate a mother is. Hope we now understand what theme is. The second element, tone. Tone refers to the attitude of the poet towards the subject matter, that is, towards what he is writing about. A tone can be either harsh, loving, calm, tender, and so on and so forth. This tone can easily be identified through the kind of words used by the poet. There are certain words that depict harshness. There are certain words that depict love. You can imagine when somebody tells you, "Oh, you look so sweet today." The person's tone is calm and the words used, how would you feel? You feel so joyful and happy. Now, the words used by that person, the tone is calm, and you can even call it maybe a sweet tone because it's tender. Thirdly, we're discussing mood. Mood is the feeling created by the writer for the reader. That is, this refers to how the tone of the writer makes the audience feel through his words. Like I said initially, when someone uses nice words on you, you feel good. Now the person's tone is nice and maybe calm, and how did you feel? You feel so great, right? Now the way you feel is what we mean as what mood here. When somebody tells you something nice, you feel so cool, you feel so happy, you feel so nice. Now the way you feel about what the person said is what we call mood. Now there are certain poems that we must have read that create this joyful and excitement mood in us. Now this means that the tone of the poet determines the mood of the listeners or readers. What and how the poet says a word or depicts a word will tell how the audience will feel. So now how the audience feels is what we call mood. Tone is to the poet, while the mood is to the readers or audience. Now we'll be discussing the elements diction. Diction simply refers to the choice of words or the use of language by poets to communicate a message or relate their experiences. Now, yes, this means that this refers to how the kind of words, how poets choose words that best communicate their feelings and experiences. This is what we call diction. Diction is divided into two aspects. We have denotation and connotation. Denotation refers to the dictionary meaning of a word. So a poet can use a word that has the actual meaning. For example, the land is green. Green here denotationally means what? A color, a type of color. So when we say the land is green, it means the land is colorful, filled with the color green, right? Yes, that's what I mean. The green here represents what? A color, green. Now, talking about the second aspect of diction, which is called connotation. Connotation, we use a particular word to represent something else. To represent something else. Using the previous example, the land is green. When we're talking about connotation here, green here does not mean the color green. Green here means what? Productivity or fruitfulness, when something produces. So we can use green to represent what? Productivity and what? Fruitfulness. Now we can see that words can be used denotationally or connotationally, that is, can be used to mean their actual, to have the actual meaning, and it can be used to represent other things. Let's look at other examples like red. Red denotationally means red color, right? But when you see red can also be used to represent love, or used to represent what? Danger in the connotation. Also, black in denotation means what? A color, natural color, black. But connotationally, or in the connotation, black can mean what? Evil. It can also be used to represent death. Finally, we're discussing the element structure. When we hear the word structure in poem, this refers to the makeup of a poem. That is, how did the poet construct the poem? Here we'll be looking at how many stanzas does the poem have, and how many lines does each of the stanza contain. Does it have rhyme? Is there rhyme in it? Is there rhyme scheme involved? What is the pattern of the rhyme scheme? Is there rhythm? These are the things that makes up the structure of a poem. Hope you have learned a lot in today's class, and generally you now know the elements, the features, those things that makes poetry distinct, that is different from other genre of literature. Thanks for listening. See you in the next class. Bye.